The World Bank, South Asia. Good Neighbors 2. Connecting for an Empowered South Asia. Mandakini Nikal and Nikita Singla, editors. A key objective of the World Bank's South Asia Regional Integration, Cooperation and Engagement, RICE, approach is broadening evidence-based communication and outreach activities that will help strengthen the case for rice and generate domestic demand. The Good Neighbors series showcases successful cross-border stories demonstrating regional cooperation to build support for regionalism in South Asia. Contents. Foreword. From the Himalayas to the Indian Ocean, South Asia's people, economies, and ecosystems are deeply interconnected. Whether in climate resilience, public health, or digital innovation, effective solutions increasingly depend on cross-border cooperation, led by communities, institutions, and especially the region's youth. In this context, Good Neighbors 2, Connecting for an Empowered South Asia, successor to our Good Neighbors 1 report, presents a timely and compelling vision for the future. Through a series of case studies, our report highlights the power of neighborly cooperation, showcasing unique examples of South Asians collaborating to build a better future. For example, the South Asia Flash Flood Guidance System and the Ratu River Community-Based Early Warning System help vulnerable communities and build resilience by providing timely flood alerts across boundaries. Another powerful example is the space partnership between Bhutan and India. From satellite launches to a national ground station, it has not only advanced technology but also sparked a passion for space exploration among Bhutanese students, showcasing a visionary and inclusive model of regional cooperation. These stories illustrate how acts of neighborly solidarity can grow into life-saving, transformative partnerships and offer a model for similar collaboration across South Asia and beyond. Rooted in the World Bank's South Asia Regional Integration, Cooperation, and Engagement, RICE, framework, the vision of #One South Asia is not only one of hope but also of growth and sustainability. It transcends borders and offers a path where South Asia's countries work together for domestic and regional prosperity. Through continued dialogue, shared knowledge, and collaborative projects, South Asia can build stronger ties that lead to more inclusive and equitable development. Our compendium, therefore, serves as both a reflection on the progress made and a call to action for the region to move forward with renewed determination. As you read these case studies and explore the possibilities they present, you will be inspired by the idea that good neighbors can build something truly remarkable together. Cecile Fruman, Director, Regional Integration and Engagement, South Asia Region. The World Bank. Picnic. Paedar. Sustainable. Qudratti. Natural. Nizam. System. Kashatqari. Farming, Chapter 6. Paedar Qudratti Nizam Kashatqari. Sowing Seeds of Cooperation Between Pakistan and India. Zofine T. Ibrahim. In the early 1970s, Asif Sharif began farming on 350 acres of uncultivated land that his family had purchased, in Pakpatan, nearly 200 kilometers away from his home in Lahore, the capital of the Pakistan province of Punjab. Meanwhile, the Green Revolution, which had taken off in the 1960s with the aim of improving agricultural productivity through the use of high-yielding food crop varieties, chemical fertilizers, pesticides, canal and tube well-based irrigation, and more intensive farming techniques, was well underway in Pakistan and its neighbor India, two of the most food-critical countries at the time. Up until then, Sharif's farming experience had been limited to learning how to drive a tractor, a rarity in the 1950s and early 1960s in Pakistan, and a few rudimentary skills he had picked up during childhood visits to his grandfather's farm. But during his time abroad in more developed countries, notably while studying marketing in 1970-722 in North Carolina, a southeastern state of the United States, he had learned of several industrial agricultural practices that, upon his return, he began to use to develop this acreage. Following a topographical survey, as the land was uneven, he used precision leveling, a technique employed to smoothen and level land to improve water distribution, to enhance crop yield and make the acreage more uniform. A tube well was installed to pump groundwater at the farm, avoiding relying solely on canal water, which was unavailable in the area in winter, and the land was organized into long fields to facilitate furrow irrigation. At the time, most of the soil scrapers, fine levelers, disc plows, disc harrows, planters, weeders, spraying, and harvesting machines used in developed countries were designed for more powerful tractors than those available in Pakistan, says Sharif. So, he began modifying these farm machines to make them suitable to local conditions. Mechanization, coupled with government incentives and the Green Revolution's input-intensive farming, helped significantly raise wheat and rice production across Pakistan and India. However, by the mid-1970s, signs of soil degradation in these fields became apparent. According to Sharif, the soil's water absorption, retention, and provisioning capacity had declined, with crops that previously required irrigation only once every 3 to 4 weeks now needing watering in less than 10 days. Repeated use of tractors pulling springtime cultivators to till the soil led to the formation of a dense, compacted layer beneath the surface, preventing water from soaking deep into the ground and restricting root growth to the top 6 or 7 inches of soil, he adds. High chemical fertilizer and pesticide usage, aimed at maximizing the yield of improved seed varieties, was also taking a toll. Crop yields, notably of wheat and rice, continued to increase as new high-yielding seed varieties were introduced, irrigation infrastructure was expanded, chemical fertilizer usage increased, and government support continued. However, growth was slower and inconsistent compared to the early years of the Green Revolution, and soil degradation. Waterlogging, salinity, and groundwater depletion increasingly threatened the sustainability of these practices. At Sharif's farm, cotton, wheat, and sugarcane were the principal crops and potato and corn were grown too. Initially, the farm's crop yields were low, but experimenting with new methods helped increase output. Adopting mechanical ridgers for planting crops helped triple the farm's yield. Siphon tubes were used to control water flow in the fields, fertilizers were applied closer to the plants instead of being spread everywhere, and later, fertilizers were delivered through irrigation water or sprayed directly on leaves to provide nutrients more efficiently. These changes improved water and fertilizers usage, reducing waste. The introduction of pneumatic precision planters saved seeds by ensuring accurate spacing between them. In addition, hybrid, crossbred, and genetically modified, GMO, seed varieties were gradually adopted. However, yields soon stagnated at the farm and eventually began to decline. Sharif started searching for solutions. Following a visit to Brazil's Amazon rainforest, where most of the dense forest is situated on upland areas with natural drainage occurring primarily in the lowlands, he decided to experiment with growing water-intensive rice on raised beds on a 20-acre field at the farm. Raised beds, which elevate soil above ground level, can enhance drainage by allowing excess water to flow away, conserve water by reducing runoff and evaporation, and promote healthier root growth through improved soil aeration and deeper root development. This was soon complemented by techniques of the system of rice intensification, SRI, a farming method, originally developed by a farmer in Madagascar, that Sharif had come across on a website of the United States-based Cornell University while researching rice production methods. SRI aims to boost rice yields while reducing water, seeds, and chemical inputs through specific practices several already in use at the farm, such as transplanting young seedlings within 10 to 12 days of germination to improve tillering, planting them singly with wide spacing, ensuring the plants do not undergo trauma, and using intermittent irrigation, and organic fertilizers, like compost, for better water absorption and retention. We adopted 3 steps of SRI on our raised beds: transplanting of young seedlings, using aerobic compost to increase organic matter. We don't recommend it now, and row-to-row and plant-to-plant spacing, say Sharif. Adapting SRI principles to local conditions, Sharif and his team began modifying their farming equipment and practices, testing them on the experimental rice field with much success. Through Farmall Technology, an agricultural equipment company he presided over at the time, they developed a transplanting machine that was driven along the field's raised beds to make small holes with adequate spacing between plants. The holes were filled with water to help the young seedlings dropped in by laborers seated on the machine survive the transplanting process without trauma. In Punjab province, rice transplanting is usually done twice a year, beginning in April and July, when temperatures tend to run high. Once completed, in about 2 hours, the beds were flooded with water. Other machines, such as one for weeding and aerating crop plants and soil between precisely planted rows, were also designed keeping local conditions in mind. By 2009, Sharif's mechanized SRI approach began to bear fruit. He reported a rice yield of 13 tons per hectare on the trial plot, with a 70% reduction in water use compared to typical irrigation levels in the province. At the time, Pakistan's average rice yield was approximately 2.3 tons per hectare of area sown, according to government estimates. In 2010, a second season trial confirmed that water productivity under Sharif's method was up to 3 times higher than with conventional sowing, while yields remained significantly elevated. That same year, Farmall Technology began adapting SRI principles and machinery for other crops, including wheat, onions, carrots, and potatoes. The company reported wheat production of around 7.3 tons per hectare, more than double the average yield for farmers in the area. In addition to SRI principles, Sharif had also started adapting concepts of conservation agriculture, which emphasizes minimal soil disturbance, crop rotation, and cover cropping to sustain soil health, and organic farming, which prunes back reliance on chemical inputs in favor of natural fertilizers and pest control. He began referring to this integrative approach as paradoxical agriculture, highlighting the seemingly contradictory ability to increase yields while reducing inputs. In January 2011, Sharif presented his evolving methodology blending SRI, conservation agriculture, organic practices, and corresponding machinery innovations to parliamentary and farmer representatives from Afghanistan, Bangladesh, India, Nepal, and Pakistan at a South Asian Parliamentary Roundtable on Food Sovereignty, organized by Pakistan's government in cooperation with the South Asia Alliance for Poverty Eradication, a regional network of civil society groups that advocates for pro-poor, rights-based policies, and social justice across. Over the years, Sharif has continued to refine and promote his farming methodology, which he now calls Paedar Qudratti Nizam Kashatqari, PQNK, pronounced picnic, which means Sustainable Natural System of Farming in Urdu. PQNK has steadily gained traction beyond Pakistan, cultivating a strong following across the border in India as well. Promise of picnic. According to Sharif, picnic is a comprehensive climate-smart agricultural production process that requires minimal tilling and agrochemicals, reduces water use by up to 70%, and yet produces high-quality crops at low cost. Sharif believes that when you nurture the health of the soil, everything else falls into place, as if nature itself has a way of restoring balance. He asserts that there is enough land and water to nourish every soul on this planet, but there is one crucial condition: we must care for it in return. He promotes planting on permanent raised beds without disturbing the soil beds that should not be plowed even after harvest. Furrows serve as controlled pathways for tractors, which ideally pass through just once during planting. Mini canals between the beds allow water to flow laterally into the beds, thereby reducing evaporation. The farmland, he says, should never be left bare but should remain covered with organic mulch or crop residue to help prevent the soil surface from heating up and to protect the biota. He also advocates planting multiple crops simultaneously. While multi-cropping does not always work due to differences in plant height or ripening times, he encourages smallholder farmers to try this, as multi-cropping can help them earn a steady income throughout the year and offers a safety net if one crop fails due to weather events or poor market conditions. Picnic discourages the excessive use of heavy machinery over the soil, as it can lead to soil compaction. However, when machinery is used, the size of the beds is adjusted to match the width of tractor or machinery wheels, so that the furrows, not the beds, bear the weight, thereby preventing compaction. Frowning upon the use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides, Sharif points out that these often end up contaminating not only the soil, but also nearby waterways. Gaining support across the fence. Today, a growing group of farmers, both in Pakistan and India, are increasingly adopting picnic practices. Though the two neighboring countries share a complex and, at times, adversarial relationship, the Internet has become an unlikely bridge, allowing the exchange of farming techniques across the border and proving extremely valuable. Sharif, the founding chairman of Paedar, which was set up in 2013, has been sharing information on picnic and its agricultural processes through neat, easy-to-understand charts on the company's website, www.paedar.com. As of end March 2025, Paedar Picnic, Sharif's channel on YouTube, a free video sharing social media website, had around 10,500 subscribers, featured 729 videos, and had received nearly 1 million views. The videos primarily focus on sustainable and regenerative farming techniques rooted in the picnic philosophy. They explore growing various produce such as bananas, carrots, chickpea, chilies, citrus, cotton, date palms, eggplant, garlic, ginger, grapes, guava, mango, mustard, papaya, peaches, peanuts, potatoes, rapeseed, rice, sesame, strawberries, sugarcane, turnips, and wheat. They also include practical demonstrations of no-till farming, crop diversification, organic soil management, water-efficient irrigation methods, and equipment innovations adapted for local agriculture. Many feature Sharif himself explaining methods mostly in Urdu or Punjabi languages familiar on the other side of the border as well, in the Indian states of Punjab, Haryana, and Rajasthan, making complex concepts accessible to local farmers. The channel also showcases numerous field and farm walkthroughs and success stories from across Pakistan and these Indian states, and farmer training sessions on picnic practices. The Paedar page on Facebook, a social media website, had around 56,000 followers as of end March 2025. It serves as an active platform for sharing updates, insights, and educational content, also primarily in Urdu or Punjabi, related to the picnic system in the form of videos, photos, text, and infographics. Posts range from how to deal with rust on wheat, grow crops without irrigation systems, and manage soil health using natural inputs such as organic mulch, to demonstrating the use of locally adapted machinery, providing updates from field trainings, and farmer testimonials and visual guides of picnic successes. Engagement on the page is steady, with followers frequently commenting, sharing posts, and tagging fellow farmers. The comment sections often include questions and answers about techniques, endorsements from those who've adopted picnic, and words of appreciation for Sharif's educational efforts, highlighting the growing community of practitioners and learners around picnic. "I have more Indian followers than Pakistani," says Sharif when discussing his audience on the social media platform. This cross-border appeal is hardly surprising. Similar topography, weather, farming challenges including fallouts from the Green Revolution and language make it easy for many Indian farmers to relate to Sharif's advice. Many smallholder farmers struggle with reading or writing, but they can easily follow Sharif's YouTube videos, where he provides simple, clear explanations, says Vinod Kumar Chaudhry, who chairs the Sociology Department at Punjab University in Chandigarh, the capital of the Indian states of Haryana and Punjab. 52-year-old Amar Sandhu from Sri Ganganagar, a city on the edge of Rajasthan's Thar Desert, has been practicing picnic on his 50-acre farm since January 2022. He speaks highly of Sharif for sharing this knowledge. Sandhu explains that Sharif communicates effectively, answering farmers' questions meticulously and patiently through WhatsApp voice notes in a manner that feels like an older brother is speaking, both encouraging and constructive, but always respectful. Having first learned about picnic in mid-2021 through local farmer groups on WhatsApp, Sandhu says that since adopting this method, he has switched from flood irrigation having the farm's water usage. Sandhu is part of 4 Indian farmer groups, some are general, others are regional or state-specific. He is also a member of the Picnic India WhatsApp group. We have nearly 100 picnic groups on WhatsApp. Out of those, I am a part of 19, where I directly educate and answer the farmers. Questions and answers are shared in all the other groups, says Asif Sharif. He estimates that there are a few thousand Indian farmers in these groups, with each group having around 500 members. I have never met the guru, teacher, says Vinod Kumar Giani, a 61-year-old farmer from Katera village in the Fazilka district of India's Punjab state, referring to Sharif. Giani has been practicing picnic on his commercial farm since mid-2024 and considers it nothing short of a revolution. He has been learning picnic methods by watching Sharif's tutorials on YouTube almost every day and says picnic is catching up fast in India. Like Sandhu in Rajasthan, Giani is a member of several farmers' WhatsApp groups, each with 200 to 300 smallholder farmers. He says many are putting Asif Sharif's teachings into practice and are very satisfied. These man-made political barriers have failed to keep us farmers from reaching out to our fraternity across the border, expresses Giani. I think the farmers in India are ready for change, says Chaudhry. He says that in regions like Punjab, where the overuse of pesticides has led to serious health consequences, the shift towards more sustainable farming methods is becoming urgent. Having successfully adopted picnic methods in mid-2020 on his 24 acres of farmland, Chaudhry now advises several farmer friends on how to convert their farms using this methodology. He even tried to get Sharif to visit Chandigarh's Punjab University to talk to farmers and students, but was unable to secure a visa for Sharif. Thankfully, the internet provides the virtual space to interact and learn, he points out. Giani's transition to picnic. For Giani, who began conventional farming in 1989 on his 130 acres of farmland, turning to organic farming in 2005 was a sudden decision. Realizing that he no longer wanted to poison his fields, he says he returned all the unopened bottles of pesticide to the shop he bought them from and distributed the open ones to neighboring farmers. He took a huge risk, he admits, without having the capacity or the knowledge to make the transition, and initially suffered losses. But in retrospect, he believes it was the best decision. Although his father was doubtful and had urged him to experiment on a small area, Giani was adamant. The more he read about organic farming and got involved in the movement in India, the more convinced he became that this was the right path. He also made sure to implement everything he learned and discussed at meetings with other more experienced organic farmers. But it was not until he took to picnic in 2020 that he learned how to make his farming profitable, starting with Kinno, a species of oranges, orchards, and then, in mid-2024, applying it on his commercial farm. Today, Giani says he is saving a significant amount on inputs. Compared to when he was solely using organic farming techniques, he estimates that his farm's water usage has decreased by 70%, and his diesel consumption for running tube wells is also down by 70%. Meanwhile, using permanent raised beds means almost no labor is needed, and it saves time as well. He has also started intercropping and is now earning a steady income throughout the year. This has also given Giani the confidence to add more crops. With just Mosambi, a type of orange, today we have planted 35 varieties of fruits trees. I have started growing several vegetables and 10 field crops, he shares. Banking on indigenous seeds. This variety at Giani's farm is supported by indigenous seeds. Evolved over generations, in local conditions, indigenous seeds are often more tolerant to regional stresses like drought, floods, heat, or salinity. They help preserve genetic variation, which acts as a buffer against pests, diseases, and shifting weather patterns. These seeds are also less dependent on chemical fertilizers, pesticides, and irrigation, and can be saved and reused season after season. This makes preserving indigenous seeds important for picnic and other regenerative agricultural practices that are tailored to the region's agricultural challenges. Giani supports the use of indigenous seeds and says it is very important to preserve the local varieties, explaining that while hybrid seeds may offer higher yields, the resulting crops are often less nutritious. He has maintained a seed bank since 2005, collecting and selling local varieties. Sandhu has been buying local seeds too, such as the Sona Modi, Gold Pearl, wheat variety, which he claims can be traced back to the Harappan times, 3300 to 1300 BCE. Farmers in local tribal areas, he says, have been preserving indigenous varieties. He has started doing the same and now both sells and uses seeds of Desi, South Asian, varieties on his farm. Meanwhile, Sharif has been sourcing natural seeds from places like Pakistan's Gilgit-Baltistan province and distributing them for free after ensuring they aren't contaminated by GMOs or hybrid varieties. He supports open-pollinated seeds, which he says farmers can exchange and reuse, unlike hybrid or GMO seeds, which often do not produce viable offspring. Farmers, he adds, should share seeds locally, as this strengthens camaraderie and community bonds. As for Sandhu, he believes cross-border seed exchange could be another step toward greater regional cooperation. Weeding out barriers to adoption. Despite its growing popularity, several barriers still limit the adoption of picnic techniques in Pakistan and India. Lack of access to appropriate machinery, particularly for forming permanent raised beds, which is essential to the picnic system yet highly labor-intensive when done manually, as well as equipment for planting, weeding, and harvesting, along with inadequate water management infrastructure in rain-fed areas or regions lacking canal and other irrigation systems, constrain the widespread uptake of Sharif's farming methodology, according to Francesco Carnival Zampaolo, Program Director for SRI 2030, an initiative of the Downforce Trust, a United Kingdom-registered charity promoting eco-friendly agricultural practices, especially SRI and related methods. More critically, Zampaolo explains that decades of conventional, input-heavy farming rooted in the Green Revolution have deeply shaped agricultural mindsets, making transitioning to more sustainable and regenerative approaches to agriculture, like picnic which rely on nature-based practices and may take time to yield visible results, difficult for some of the two countries' farmers. Government policies and subsidies that continue to favor conventional farming practices further compound these challenges. Nevertheless, ongoing efforts to improve access to picnic knowledge are supporting its spread. In India's Punjab state, for instance, Chaudhry has contextualized the picnic model by incorporating religious and cultural references to provide a philosophical foundation that resonates with the people of the Sikh-majority state. Drawing on the teachings of Guru Nanak, the founder and first teacher of the Sikh faith, Chaudhry shares about the picnic system locally by referring to it as Nanak Kheti, Nanak farming. He often emphasizes Guru Nanak's philosophy of Pawan Guru, Pani Pita, Mata Darat, air is the teacher, water is the father, and earth is the mother, to underscore that these elements must be preserved and not destroyed, thereby making it easier for people to connect with and adopt the picnic approach. Picnic, is open knowledge, and we have given free access to everyone to use it. We are only working for the betterment of overall well-being of the planet, so let it happen, says Sharif, who is keen for picnic techniques to be adopted across South Asia and beyond. Sharif's desire to freely share picnic knowledge is, naturally, much appreciated by a growing number of farmers in India and Pakistan. One farmer on Paedar's farmers' WhatsApp groups thanked him for not patenting any form of picnic knowledge, skills, or wisdom, and added that he, and many others, have even learned to let go of things for the betterment of mankind from Sharif's example. Conclusion. About 56% of the land area in South Asia is used for agriculture, including approximately 60% in India and 46.6% in Pakistan, largely relying on industrial methods that use synthetic fertilizers, chemical pesticides, and heavy farm machinery to cultivate vast monocultures. While these practices can be efficient, they also take a toll by degrading the land, eroding topsoil, depleting soil structure through frequent tilling with heavy machinery, and increasing soil salinity due to irrigation. According to Sharif, picnic offers a promising solution to many of the crises facing agriculture today, including carbon imbalances, water scarcity, soil degeneration, smallholder poverty, and declining food quality. Although picnic has yet to be widely adopted or tested in Pakistan, India, and much of the world, and there is no one-size-fits-all formula for transitioning to it, as it may require different farming approaches depending on various local factors, such as the soil type, weather conditions, and biodiversity. It has also provided a solution to another long-standing issue, the lack of communication and collaboration between farmers across the India-Pakistan border. In the absence of face-to-face meetings, farmers in India and Pakistan have found it useful to meet and learn from each other online, notably via Paedar's Facebook page and farmers' WhatsApp groups. Here, They exchange knowledge, encourage one another, and work together to get to the root of the agricultural problems they face and find ways to nip them in the bud. This is proving to be a transformative way to bridge gaps in South Asians' understanding of how to grow plants and relationships that ensures they reap the bountiful fruits of cooperation. Moreover, it is letting them know that even on the other side of the fence, there are neighbors rooting for their success.